welcome back to the Noodle Bowl 4. It's back. I'm so happy it's back. It's Golden Kamuy Season 4, Episode 1. I was so happy to discover it was coming back. I knew I'd be shouting and screaming, saying all the F words if I ever get monetized, ever. This is the series that is going to get me demonetized because every single video I end up talking about Dick Sensei. Chill out with some after hours as we discuss what our characters get up to. I have missed so much and it's going to be brightening up the channel. There's a lot of heavy animes airing this season. We've got things like Chainsaw Man landing in 2 days, mowing down people, bloodshed everywhere. A lot of blood in this anime in particular, but there's just so much comedy that I sometimes can forget horrific things have just happened. Hello and welcome back. If you have come back after season 3 breakdowns on the channel, you gotta let me know in the comments. You gotta say hi to me, wave at me or something because I have missed you guys. I am so excited. Yes, I've got the page of names all opened again because this is the one anime that I seem to get so confused with who's who. There's a lot of characters. The cast on this anime is just vast. The guy coming back this season as well, Vasily, is back. I'm like, oh, I thought you were dead, but you're back. Okay. Lots of characters coming back into the fray. Before we get going, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel because you're doing me a massive favour and it all really does mean a lot because it allows me to stay connected to you guys and keep broadcasting what's going on. You guys get to see what I'm up to. This season, we are going to have some mini breakdowns that will come your way. They will start properly next week. I've got to get on top of everything that I have missed. Mainly Golden Kamuy, ready for the new season, and Golden Kamuy is here in front of us. So let's break it down. As always, we have to talk about the OP before we get going. The bit I really like in the OP is the transition where we've got the legs and they change and we've got 2 sets of legs. It's all done by CGI. I need to run it back again to work out who the characters are in particular, but it's just the way that a lot of motion is gained. And I think it also happens when Sugimoto is closing in on Vasily thinking it's Ogata, and we had this CGI moment of him running up the staircase. I don't know why, but it gave me a really nice sense of movement. I really like the OP. It's got a sense of flow. I got very excited because Ogata is in the OP and we know that I am a big Sudaken fan. He's one of those characters that he's so well written that I want to know more. Bad character, but he's a troll and I want to know more about this character. He admits to Isoropa that he killed Wilk. For now, he's sidelined. He's got to chill out and relax in the cold winters, butt naked. So that's where he is right now. We're already starting the anime breakdown with the word butt and naked. Off to a good start here when it comes to Golden Kamuy. If I ever do a live stream, this would be the one where we would have to do it after hours. One of those animes that I definitely would chill out with. We have a new season, we've got a new studio, just a tiny bit different, but by the end of it, I was laughing, rolling around on the floor. I don't mind as long as it basically tells a story and it looks good and the voice actors are where they should be. I am not complaining because I am so happy to see them come back to the sequence where we see Captain Leaky Brain on his throne with all of the silhouettes around him. It's basically highlighting who our big key players are this season. This is a season, as you guys told me last season. Him and Hijikata, they are main players now. They are basically 2 factions who are both looking for the gold. We are obliged to team up with him because the pact we made to go and rescue Siripa. Captain Leaky Brain is going to be featuring a lot on the channel. And of course, I know that you guys love Captain Leaky Brain because you guys keep telling me how much you love him. The nickname stays. But it doesn't take us long to have me remembering every single character as we are coming back into the series. There was a tiny bit of a recap at the start that I don't really feel like I need to go into. Koito, his ability to go from 0 to simp in about 4 seconds. We know he is a Captain Leaky Brain simp, along with many of you guys in the audience. The head of your fan base. 1 minute he's like cooing over his picture and the next minute it's like, yep, I'm serious, we're off, let's go. It wouldn't be Golden Kamuy if we didn't kick off straight into some action as my boy Shiraishi, the first casualty of the episode, goes down because he takes a bullet to the knee. The moment with Koito preening himself on the mirror instead of quickly tracking down what direction the sniper's coming from, in tune with his character. Koito as a character, he really grew on me last season. He really came into his own and now I'm very happy to see him back. Each of the comic moments just last long enough for me to be funny. They don't really like drag on. The moment Shiraishi's trying to plan the birds and getting the birds to come down and it's just a load of sparrows that come down and he's just sat there for a moment just going kawaii. Very quick, perfect for Shiraishi. Really nice to have a little funny moment dotted into something where it's actually quite serious because he doesn't know who's shooting at them and everyone's starting to panic because they think Ogata has come back really, really quickly. But as much as I wanted Ogata to be back on my screen to grace the screen with his antics, it's not him, and he was too busy riding naked, fleeing into the Russian winter right now, so he's definitely not back and I don't think he's going to come back yet. He might make an appearance at the end, depends how quick the time goes in the anime, I guess. Facing off with a new sniper. It was somebody who rivaled Ogata enough for everybody to start freaking out, thinking he's back and attacking them. There was only really one person who it could have been, and it made sense for him to be tracking down the party, or at least following them, is, of course, Vasily. Vasily versus Ogata in season 3 was perhaps my favourite fight. I think I may have crowned it my favourite fight of season 3. How good it was. There wasn't that much action, but it was just perfect. It was a battle of wits. The lengths that they go to, Ogata literally is there eating snow just to get rid of his breath, to make sure that his body temperature matches the temperature around him. That fight was insanity, and it was one of my favourites. Seeing Vasily coming back, really triggering nostalgia, introduced in season 3 because he's trying to track down the people who murdered the Russian emperor. Sugimoto and Vasily slightly hinted at the fight that we had in season 3 when Sugimoto has to track him from behind. The point is that he needs to close ground because a sniper basically loses once they don't have the ability to shoot at range. Nothing is more scary than having an enemy watching you who can basically kill you in an instant if they wanted to, knowing they're around but not knowing where they are. Sugimoto is trying to close the distance while we see Vasily trying to widen the distance, and that's when we see Sugimoto literally dragging him through the screen to grab him. Great little moment. It wasn't long. It was on screen as much as it needed to be on screen. Really like that interaction. My guilty crush is Ogata. My actual husbando for this season is Sugimoto. Love Sugimoto's. I will be devastated if something happens to that character. I really did forget how bad Sugimoto was at drawing. The moment when they revealed the little picture of him getting shot in the head, that was probably the moment when I started just giggling and remembering how great the series was. Those two just sitting there drawing pictures, and Vasily's not talking right now. It was one of those funny moments where we get reacquainted with how beautiful Sugimoto's artwork is. Sugimoto and Vasily just chilling, drawing, and having a bit of fun. All we needed now was just Vasily to be kicking his legs in the air, giggling like a kid, chilling and drawing and colouring in like with crayons or something. That scene would have just been perfect. We lost one sniper to gain a second sniper. It seems Vasily is stepping in for the role of sniper this season. That makes me happy. He does actually have a voice actor labelled, so it does make me wonder if at some point he is going to be talking again, because he does technically have somebody who vocalises for him. Shiro has a new frenemy and stalker. He is stalking our group because he believes if he follows them, Ogata is going to show up. Ogata hasn't killed him, and I don't understand how he escaped that. He isn't going to rest until one of those two is dead, so it's good because it makes me happy to know that at some point Ogata is going to come back. Vasily is a man of my heart. He is waiting for the return of Ogata to our screens. Does seem to be filling the role of sniper this season. It looks like he's going to be slowly stalking them from a distance, which could come in handy if the group is attacked. He could probably protect our group because he believes that Ogata is going to come for a Sirapa. Sugimoto could be a target, as Ogata might come back and finish Sugimoto off. He's a cool character. I'd like to learn a bit more about Vasily. We do get a little bit of closure this episode with the Sophia's parents learning about Sophia, what happened to her. So that is a nice little wrap up with a plot line that we were following last season. It was nice to see them return because I think they were trying to say they weren't going to go back. They didn't have time to go back and inform the parents, but Tanigaki was the one who wanted to go back, or it might have been Tsukishima. That's the one that I also get really horrifically mashed up. But I think it's one of these two adamant that we will go back. We will tell these guys what happened. That was our little catch up with our main group. The second half of this episode is glimpse into the other party because I believe it is going to be mainly focusing on Captain Leaky Brain and Hijikata. We have the two characters. I don't remember the guy's name who is doing the investigating. I think he's with a guy called Kiros. On the flip side, we are looking for Dick Sensei and Hijikata. So we've got two characters who are trying to track down Hijikata. And this is a bit more of the dark plot line. So we're chasing a character who reminds me a lot of Two-Face from Batman, who seems to be very acquainted with poison, but not poisoning somebody straight out. One of these fish is poisoned, the other ones aren't. Dark character, and the fact that he does technically show himself to these guys quite quickly. It is touching base with Hijikata and seeing what he's up to. He's chasing down the other guy with a tattoo. I can't remember what happened to Dick Sensei. I think Dick Sensei is in a coffin underground, wounded or something. I will probably have to quickly do a recap on season 3. The detective and Curious trying to track down Hijikata. The case kind of goes cold. The actual suspect themselves approaches Curious and gives him the fish. The detective, having rotten luck, as he puts it, ends up perhaps having the best luck this episode because a man with such bad luck, he will never even realise how close he came to dying or being poisoned. Maybe being poisoned because the point of this trick is 50-50. One of you might eat that fish and get poisoned. One of you won't eat that fish and get poisoned. Two-Face, because Two-Face flips a coin, and if it's heads, well, you might get to live, or if it's tails, you get to die, and that's what he reminds me of. So I do wonder what role he's gonna play, especially that last sequence with Hijikata buried, seemingly alive with the cocoon, which could be poisoned but also couldn't, because the whole point of this plot line was to show us that it's 50-50 whether Hijikata is dead or not. I don't think he is, because he's such a key character. I think he's got to go out in a bit of a blaze of glory, so I don't think he's just gonna have a quiet death where he's buried alive or anything. Let's talk about the new AD. I love it. I think it's really, really clever because it reminds me of credits when we sit in the movie and we see the names go by. But in this regards, we've got a newspaper of everybody, all of our characters involved. Some of them are doing cool little advertisements. There's a new character on the front of the poster. He's even got an advertisement in the newspaper too, which looks really, really cool. He's got really cool long hair. I like the design. It does remind me a bit of Kiro, so I wonder who he is. I will wait and see, because technically we've only got a day left before our next episode drops. I will break that down with you guys a day later, so it's not going to be too far out of schedule this time round. So many new characters, lots of characters that I've completely forgotten about mentioned in this newspaper spread. I wish I could read Japanese. I would love to know what some of the writing next to these characters actually says. Is it advertisements? Are some of them actually advertising like drink or something? Because Dick Sensei on there advertising, I don't know, his services. I really like the ED. There's not much going on, so it's probably not going to rank highly on my midway review, but the song itself is very, very good and I really enjoy it. This episode was great. We do seem to have, especially this episode, two different lines of plot going on. We've got the Hijikata line. We've got people searching for Hijikata in the main group who are escaping Russia, trying to get back to Captain Leaky Brain because he needs to talk to Asirapa. Events happening on the journey. We don't know where Ogata is right now. The weight of this man is fresh on everyone's brains. We get to see angry, even the mention of Ogata gets Sugimoto in the shadow of what Ogata did to the group. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I would like him to come back, but I think it's a little bit too early. Fantastic. Very happy to see our group back. At some point, I would love to cosplay from this anime. I just haven't found the right costume or character yet. I'm not sure what I would do. Hope you guys are all looking after yourselves, and I can't wait to be snuggled down talking about this one as it gets colder outside. I really also hope that we've got at least another season left. I don't want this one to end just yet, and I'm going to be so sad when this comes to an end. If someone in the comments can let me know if there is going to be more. Is this the last season? Is there more to go? How much material is left? That's generally the question I ask all of my manga readers out there. Let me know if this is the last season. Let me know if there's more. Thank you guys so much. I cannot wait to see you in about 2 days to break down episode 2. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.